Today, we're going to talk about eggs because the eggs you think you're buying are probably not the eggs you're expecting. This is our first video. We thought we should talk about something we know a lot about, and that's eggs. We've been running a chicken farm now for 12 years. Let's go and see what makes the best eggs. What makes a good egg is a real natural diet. Now these chickens are outside every day. They're eating what chickens eat in the wild. They're eating grass, they're eating a lot of bugs, they're digging through dirt, they actually eat things like stone. So to get the best egg, you use the best food. Now most eggs in this country come from battery farms or battery cage farms, where the chickens, leghorns usually like that, they're the ones that lay the white eggs, are in these tiny cages and they just eat all day and lay eggs all day, and that's all they do. Sometimes they can't turn around, they can't move, and it's a very unpleasant life. Now the next stage up, and relatively new, is cage-free. Now cage-free, they don't have the cages, but they're just in huge, giant buildings. And usually on concrete floors, sometimes on dirt floors. They never get to go outside. Now, the cage-free birds are frequently eating the same feed as the cage birds, which means really the same eggs. It is more humane, but you're not getting a better quality product. Now you might think free range is better, you might think free range is out here, but in the US, free range does not mean on grass. Free range means they are in a closed run, it's in a big building like cage free, but they have access to the outside. And it's usually just a closed run, and they are given limited access, and there's really not anything for them to eat there. We have a fixed run in our other coop. Let's go take a look at that and you'll see what it looks like. This is our first coop, and we built this one with a fixed run. This has been here for 12 years. And as you can see, they've pretty much eaten every single molecule of natural organic food in there. And if we never let these chickens out into the field, then they would only eat commercial feed, just like the cage-free hens and just like the battery cage hens, and they would make the same eggs. Now in our case, we are a pasture-fed farm, so we do let the chickens out every day. But for the free-range farms, this is what they get. In fact, I've heard that some free-range farms are even far worse than battery cage hens. I've had two animal rights inspectors tell me that, because they cram them in, all these chickens into these tiny little pens. And so you really got to be careful of your labels. Now on our second coop, we built a movable coop and a movable run. Let's go take a look at that. Now this coop and the run are designed to move around the field. That way they can always be on grass, even if for some reason we have to keep them in the run. So this has been there about 2 weeks right now. There's still a lot of organic matter, but pretty soon we're going to drag this run to the other side of the coop and all the way around, and then we'll move the entire coop. So chickens that are on grass, whether it's a covered facility that moves like this or out in the field, these are called pastured eggs, or sometimes grass-fed eggs, but generally I prefer the term pastured. And if you look for that, those are the best eggs you can possibly get. Now it's not a USDA approved term, so you're not going to find it in your big supermarket, so you do have to look around. Now we did go to the supermarket yesterday and got both the cheapest and the most expensive eggs we could find, and now we're going to grab some of our eggs and we'll do a comparison. Let's go get some. All right, let's see what we got. Here are the nesting boxes, and here's some eggs right in here. Let's take them inside and see what they look like. We went to the supermarket yesterday to see what kind of eggs they had, and although they had many, many types, it was really limited just to regular and cage-free. They had no free range whatsoever. The regular, we got the cheapest they had, which was $1.99, essentially $2 for 1 dozen. Then they had a whole range of cage-free. We got the most expensive. These are organic, large brown eggs, cage-free, and these were $2.99 for half a dozen, or $6 per dozen. And then we have our eggs, which we sell for $5 a dozen. Let's take a look and see if we can notice the difference. These are the regular white leghorn eggs. Put one in there. These are the cage-free, organic. Expensive ones always come in expensive packages that fold like that. That's, I think, pretty much what you're paying for. Put one of those in there. And then here is, actually much larger than the rest, one of ours. Now, if you notice, these are both kind of limp and watery and a light yellow color, where ours is a good deal more substantial and has a dark color. Now, if you can't really see it, it's hard to see with the camera, but ours rise a lot higher and the yolk is a lot firmer. But if you look, the cheap battery hen eggs look exactly the same as the very expensive cage-free organic, and neither of them look quite like our pasture-fed eggs. Now, this is the first time we've done this experiment. We were actually a little surprised at the results. Not only we did expect the expensive cage-free organic to look the same as the cheap battery cage, but we actually thought that the battery cage looked maybe just a little better. Now, just looking at color is not the best indication, but that was a little surprising. Also, size. We were really kind of surprised that, that they're quite a bit smaller than what we would consider a large. Now, what kind of eggs should you buy? If you can, buy locally produced pastured eggs. Those are going to be the best. Look at local farmers markets or go to localharvest.org, which will list any producers in your area, and as well as farmers markets. Now, if you can't do that, do start with free range and cage free, because they are more humane to the birds, and we do believe that happier chickens do make better eggs. But more so than labels, try different producers, try different manufacturers, because a good quality cage-free egg with quality feed is going to be better than a free-range farm, a free-range operator that is using really cheap feed. So try different brands. That's really the most important thing. Now, if you have questions, you can ask in the box below. We do respond, and it'd be a great help to us if you subscribe to our channel and if you liked our Facebook page at facebook.com/simplebasictv. In case you're wondering what we're going to do with these cheap eggs, we're going to feed them to the chickens. They love eggs. Chick, 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 chick. Come on. How are these compared to the others? They're all right?